season from Iowa State, 6'4", number 14, Jeff Hornacek. The center in his rookie season from Brigham Young, 7 feet 6 inches, number 76, Sean Bradley. At one forward, in his 6th season from Temple, 6'9", number 23, Tim Perry. And at the other forward, in his 2nd season from Southern Mississippi, 6'7", number 35, Clarence Witherspoon. 76ers coached by Fred Carter. His assistants, Tony DeLeo and Jeff Woolen. The trainer, Eastern Conference NBA All-Star trainer.
Well, the Sixers introduced to the crowd along with the Knicks. A look at the Knicks, who were delighted with the announcement yesterday that Charles Oakley will join Patrick Ewing and John Starks on the All-Star team. For Oakley, his first selection in a 9-year career. We talked about it with Charles.
Well, you know, playing with a team, we got a winning record. I think that some people don't, really notice you unless you're winning. In the past, we won games, but this year we playing well. Last year, I thought we played well. I think that, just glad I was the next guy on the list. I want to thank whoever voted, the fans, the coaches, and, the teammates, the coaching staff, the Knicks organization, give me a chance to, come out and perform a lot more this year than last year.
And I think Charles might want to say thanks to NBA Commissioner David Stern, who made the selection with his board of advisors in the NBA offices. Several other pretty fair candidates out there. Kevin Willis of the Atlanta Hawks, and young man who plays here in Philadelphia, Clarence Witherspoon.
Yes, particularly Kevin Willis, who had a gigantic game against the Knicks last Friday night. The Knicks and Charles Oakley, as I'm sure he's pointing out to many people.
All right, the officials, Hugh Evans, Ronnie Nunn, and Mike Callahan. Knicks control the opening tip. The Knicks hoping to turn it from the performance in Miami on Monday night, losing to the Heat 96-85 after they led by 17 in the first quarter, and a foul is called on the Sixers. It's on Tim Perry, who had the extraordinary shooting game from three-point land Monday against Charlotte. 7 of 15 from downtown. Both are 76er franchise records. Oakley with the rebound. And Ewing going at Bradley. Nice fake. Here's Dana Barros moving against Greg Anthony. This is Perry, and they will respect the long-range shooting, something that we've rarely seen during the course of his career. Good play by Ewing, stripping Bradley.
Yes, Bradley just turned and put that ball right in front of Patrick, who had the hand at the waist.
Charles Smith. And the rebound handled by Jeff Hornacek. Bradley from Hornacek.
Knicks too late in picking up Sean Bradley.
Pat Riley, when asked about the loss in Miami the other night, in particular coming off the impressive showing against Orlando, John Starks this time the game at 2. Pat suggested what he called a human factor fatigue may have been part of the reason behind the loss in Miami. The Miami game, the Knicks 5th in 7 days. All-Star break will be welcomed by the Knicks. And we get a foul called on Ewing, a pushing foul, as Bradley tried to put on the spin move. It's also possible when, and this is a club that had won 7 of the previous 8, they were just outplayed that particular night. But Miami was on every loose ball. You could see that the Knicks were short a step.
After that explosive first quarter, which was 34 for the Knicks and 20 for Miami, they just lost it. And we've seen it happen before, but I think it's justified to say that they were tired, Marv. It's been a brutal schedule of late.
Sean Bradley. And the Sixers lead by the score of 4-2. Now Smith posting up. Perry gets some help from Barros. Ewing, yes, and the game is tied at 4.
Every game has wars within wars. Now, from the standpoint of Sean Bradley, when he was in New York on January 23rd, he was 2 for 14 from the field in 34 minutes. He's already shown the Knicks better play.
Weatherspoon. Good box out by Ewing. Patrick Ewing the other night in Miami, 6 for 23, a rare off night. Oakley given the shot. Yes. The Knicks 6 and the 76ers 4.
Also, Mark, John Starks wants to remedy the memory of his recent performance in Miami. He was 3 for 9 in over 30 minutes the other night. He hit his first shot here tonight.
And a blocking foul called on Anthony. So Hornacek will throw it in. The Sixers get the new 24. This is a Philadelphia team that began the season at 4 up and 11 down. So since then they have won 16 and lost 15. A very impressive run. Tim Perry is stopped and fires it up. Oh, you know he's feeling it with that jump shot.
And you sense that Charles Smith read the papers today too, and he heard about those 7 makes from 3-point range. Charles was on him pretty well.
Prior to the season, Tim Perry had hit only 12 3-point field goals during his entire career, and he goes 7 of 15 the other night. Charles Smith providing a 2-point Knick lead.
Yes, that's a 5-year career that Perry had prior to this year.
Pretty move by Dana Barros, and Barros tripped up his teammate Bradley. Some confusion leading to that uncontested drive by Anthony, but he could not take advantage. Hornacek gets it inside. Good look. Tim Perry giving the Sixers a 10-8 lead.
Well, the Knicks have not opened up with their intensity defense yet. Maybe a couple of these easy baskets by the Sixers will wake them up a bit.
Smith, air ball, handled by Hornacek. Hornacek behind the back. That prompted the reaction from the crowd. Oakley challenged Bradley and drew the foul. Good move by Oakley. He protected the ball and picked up the foul on Bradley.
Yes, he had to offer some deception. Otherwise, Sean Bradley at 7 feet 6 inches tall would send that baby back. Meanwhile, Patrick Ewing made a good recovery on a rebound to ignite the break, which led to Charles getting this opportunity to draw the foul.
So Charles Oakley shooting a couple, 76% free throw shooter.
Well, the newest all-star on the right, Ewing, Starks, and Oakley, combining to be the first trio of Knicks to make the all-star team since 1973. Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere, Walt Frazier. Names that are on the lips of, I'd say, 10% of the audience here tonight, Mark.
10%, huh?
Of the audience in Philadelphia.
Hornacek with a lead for Weatherspoon. We mentioned earlier on Knicks game night for Bradley that his only all-star selection. Now Barros giving the 76ers a 12-9 lead. Bradley not the type of player who would show it with statistics. Also very tough to make it when he had some illustrious teammates making it each season. Anthony from straight away. So Anthony hits a 3 to tie the game at 12.
Shooting like that will minimize the effect of those automatic double teams that come Patrick Ewing's way.
Sixers off to a fast start. 6 of 8 from the field. Oakley guarding Bradley. Bradley goes to a fadeaway. Hits. Oh, beautiful shot by Sean Bradley. And he's 3 of 3 for 6 points. Philadelphia by 2.
No man on the planet that we know of will block that shot. And how about the response by Patrick Ewing?
So a good shooting start, and the game is tied at 14. Here's Perry for 3. Rebounded by Ewing. Smith posting up on Perry, whips inside. A gorgeous move by Charles Smith.
So nicely done by Charles.
The Knicks 16 and the 76ers 14. Hornacek in the backcourt. Bradley up front with Perry and Weatherspoon. Now Weatherspoon posting on Oakley, backing him. 4 on the 24. Starks with the rebound. Starks pulls up and hits. That's a 3 for John Starks. The Knicks 19, the 76ers 14.
You know, John and his All-Star teammates want to go into the All-Star break on a high note, feeling good about themselves, so they can hang out with the other All-Stars with their shoulders back.
So people will talk to him. Timeout is called. 5:24 remaining. First quarter.
And know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser. Well, Sean Bradley opened things up in his offensive arsenal with this fade away from the foul line. Nothing but net. The other end of the court, after a couple of jump shots that didn't go his way, Charles Smith took his game inside, and it was a beauty.
And back to the live action. Nice lead pass from Bradley to Hornacek, and the Knicks now lead by 3. That stops the 7-0 run by New York. Knicks 8 of 13 from the field, and Philadelphia now 8 for 12. Ewing, yes. And the terrific shooting continues at both ends. The Knicks lead 21-16. Ewing is at 3 out of 4. He has 6 points. Orlando Woolridge has checked in for the first time. He missed the last 2 games with a pulled groin muscle. Orlando, a major factor in that Philadelphia victory over the Knicks at the Garden 2 weeks back. So it's Weatherspoon and Bradley and Woolridge up front. Weatherspoon. Rebound handled by Anthony. Knicks on the run. 4 on 2. Smith. Charles Smith running the break, taking the lead from Anthony, and the Knicks now lead by 7.
Greg Anthony made it look simple, but he ran that play beautifully. Pushed the ball up quickly and set up with a perfect pass.
Ronnie Nunn calling it away from the ball on John Starks, who apparently has something to say about the call and was hit with a technical foul. Starks with the personal as he threw his elbow at Hornacek and then complained, and now is appealing his case with Patrick Ewing over to try and calm John down just in case, but it looks like John has settled down. Hornacek hits the technical.
I think sometimes, Marv, it's the demonstrative nature of the reaction, as you see, by Starks, that catches the crowd attention. It does not serve to uphold the judgment of the official in the public's eye, and that's what will draw a technical as much as what you may say.
You sound like an attorney, John.
Had a day off, Marv.
Which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that as a negative.
No, it's a fact. Nobody does like lawyers.
Knicks now lead 23-17. Here comes Starks. Sixers get back on the transition. Starks shooting. Yes. John Starks on fire here in the early going. 3 out of 3, 7 points, and the Knicks lead 25-17. Foul call, reach in on Anthony. So for Greg, his second. And that will bring on Derek Hoffer. Greg Anthony has been playing well. 17 points the other night against Miami, which was high for the Knicks, and then had a terrific all-around game on Sunday in the victory over Orlando at the Garden. So, you know, he was upset about leaving after that second foul. Woolridge played by Smith. Orlando Woolridge cuts it to a 6-point Knick lead. Orlando Woolridge, a guy who's seen action with 7 teams in 13 NBA seasons. Foul against the Sixers. It's on Woolridge. Last year, Woolridge with Milwaukee and Detroit. He's also played for Chicago, New Jersey, the Lakers, Denver, Detroit. Signed as a free agent by the 76ers and has done a good job. Charles Smith on the line. Charles, an 81% free throw shooter.
Talking about Woolridge, Marv, the memory of that last game in New York had Woolridge firmly imprinted on it. With under a half minute to go, he hit the big shot that gave the Sixers a 5-point lead that really put the game into total control of the Sixers. And his defense on Ewing in combination with Bradley proved to be very effective.
Yes, the 76ers felt the switching off with Woolridge and Bradley helping out helped to turn things. Foul is called as the Knicks try to break. Moses Malone has also come on for the first time. Fouls called on Malone. Moses bothered right throughout the season with a sore back. 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Knicks 26 and the Sixers 19. Oakley, yes.
Charles Oakley.
Clark shook his head as if to say, I can't believe that. Woolridge guarding Charles Oakley on that play.
Charles has hit 2 jump shots here in the early going. Woolridge stepping around Smith, but could not convert. Starks. And the ball goes back to the 76ers. Timeout has been called with 2.5 remaining in this first quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the sports of...
On February 27th, for information and a free brochure about this exciting couple of days, you can call 212-268-8844.
Well, play back in. The Knicks with a 28-19 lead on the 76ers. Both clubs shooting very well. 2:20 remaining in this first quarter. Marv Albert with John Andres from snowy Philadelphia. Weatherspoon got it inside. Moses Malone uncovered. And the Knicks now lead by 7. Pat Riley inserting Anthony Mason for Charles Smith. Ewing with the drop step against Malone. And the Knicks now lead by 9. And Patrick Ewing 4 out of 5, 8 points.
See, the Knicks got the ball to Ewing before he could get into a wrestling match with Malone for position. So that quicker pace favors Ewing over Malone.
Malone called for a charge. Very close to a travel, but it's a charging foul as he stumbled his way. Now Dana Barros will sit down. Johnny Dawkins checking in.
So look at Moses moving pretty well, but Ewing moved a little quicker getting to the position that Moses wanted.
Problem is, though, John, you have to dribble if you make a move, and Moses took a couple of steps along the way. Ewing gets inside. The Knicks now lead 32-21.
Moses at 6'10", all of a sudden is just a little short for Ewing, who can go right over him.
Weatherspoon now being played by Ewing. And an illegal defense called for the first time against the Knicks. The Knicks have won 4 of the last 6 on the road. A road record of 13-8. They'll be back at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night to go up against Chris Webber, Chris Mullin, Terrell Sprewell on the Golden State Warriors. Moses Malone line drives it home with just under 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. The Knicks lead 32-23. Now Mason posting up, feeling around for Weatherspoon. On the back tap, Starks. Mason with the jump hook. He loves that shot.
Shoots it right-handed better than his natural left-handed shooting.
Knicks by 11. Hopper playing Dawkins very tightly. Half minute to go in this first quarter. Woolridge off the fake is hit on a reach-in foul.
Oh, that's a tough foul for Mason, who, when Woolridge put the ball in front of him, he had it. The last look inside at Mason, working down low on that pass from John Starks. Nobody jumped up in the air. Let's take another look at that. Mason moving quickly, stays with Woolridge. Tough call. Mason really stayed with him.
Orlando Woolridge just under 70% from the free throw line. This is the third of 5 meetings between the Knicks and 76ers. They split the previous 2. Knicks winning at the Garden in the home opener All right, Moses Malone will sit down. Eric Lechner, who has not played much recently, will come on for Malone. 76ers won in New York 2 weeks ago. The Knicks had won 9 straight at the Garden against Philadelphia. They'd won 5 out of 5 last year. That made it 2 straight losses for the Knicks. They had been beaten in Orlando on Friday night, lost that Sunday night game to the 76ers, and that led to all the quotes in the Daily News, which blared out the headline "Team Turmoil." And after that, the Knicks won 6 straight games. Starks, yes, another 3-pointer for John Starks, and the Knicks open up a 37-24 lead. Final seconds of the quarter. Here's Dawkins unleashing, and Weatherspoon is able to put it home. He beat the horn. So after 1, the Knicks 37. The Philadelphia 76ers 26. Look at that buzzer basket by Clarence Weatherspoon. We'll be back at the Spectrum in a moment.
MCI called, and they want friends and family phone numbers, and if they are on that friends and family, you get a better deal. Well, nobody was in my family, so it's not a better deal. I thought it would be a
and by AT&T, the official telecommunications company of the New York Knicks and the NBA.
Well, tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, it will be the Golden State Warriors and the New York Knicks. Don Nelson has done a tremendous job when you consider the injuries that he has faced. The Warriors at 25-20 in 4th place in the Pacific Division. That'll be tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, and then the All-Star break beckons. And the Knicks will have Patrick Ewing, John Starks, and Charles Oakley headed to the Twin Cities for the game on Sunday. Second quarter underway. Hornacek rebounded by Oakley. The Knicks 37 and the 76ers 26. Derick Hopper able to whip right through. Nice move by Hopper, who accelerated. Excellent shooting first quarter for both clubs. Philadelphia 12 of 19, and the Knicks 16 of 24, just under 70%. Weatherspoon given the room, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. Last touched by Hornacek.
A whole different world, Marv, when the team shoots as well as they are right now. Against Miami, the Knicks shot 40%. Against Philadelphia at the Garden the last time they met, the Knicks shot 37%. And that ball's going into the basket as readily as it is now. It really puts pressure on the opponent. And Anthony Mason stays on the pace with his teammates with that jump shot.
Greg Graham, a rookie from Indiana, has come on for the first time. He's matched with John Starks. Weatherspoon up front with Woolridge and Lechner. Graham and Dawkins at the guards. Knicks have opened up a 15-point lead. Lechner able to convert. Minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. Hopper working against Dawkins. Hopper and Starks in the backcourt. Ewing, Mason, Oakley up front. Here's Hopper. Rebound Ewing. Ewing with the drop step hook. Beautiful move by Patrick Ewing. And the Knicks now lead by 15. 12 points for Ewing. Woolridge played by Mason. Here's Dawkins. It's not that the Sixers have not had the touch, but the Knicks have been unconscious in the shooting department, and so despite the fact Philly's shooting well, they're down by 13.
And the Knicks have been so balanced in their scoring as well. The Sixers cannot concentrate on one player.
Open shot for Starks. Rebound handled by Weatherspoon. This is Graham, Greg Graham. Able to recapture. Sets up Weatherspoon, and he's fouled. Weatherspoon will go to the line. Clarence Weatherspoon shooting very well recently. Last 5 games, better than 60%. Fouled by Anthony Mason. Charles Smith returns. Comes on for Charles Oakley. And John Starks sits down. Here's Rolando Blackman on the court for the first time. Clarence Weatherspoon in the Philadelphia victory on Monday against Charlotte came up with his first career triple-double. A well-balanced one, too.
Yes, Weatherspoon, a very capable player, and he evokes thoughts of Charles Barkley because he's 6'6", which means he's taller than Charles Barkley, but can do so many things at a high level.
First-round draft pick last season out of Southern Mississippi. Had a superb rookie year. Fleckner broke it up. Here's Woolridge in the open floor. Couldn't control the ball and was picked up by Blackman. Wren given the room. Kept alive by Dawkins. And Ewing leads the Knick attack. Mason drawing a double team. 3 minutes gone by, second quarter. The Knicks lead 43-32.
Ewing's not happy about the banging he's getting from Fleckner.
Mason with the rebound. Good fake and puts it home. What a move by Anthony Mason.
You know what that reminded me of? The Dipper, Will Chamberlain, who made his fame here in Philadelphia in many ways with that little reach in, with that long arm of Chamberlain's. Well, Mason did it similarly.
Have to have enormous hands to be able to do that. And Anthony Mason off to a good start. He's hit 3 out of 4, 6 points.
Another look at that move by Anthony Mason as Ewing goes up for the shot. Mason reaching in with the right hand, just flipped it up. Beautiful.
The Knicks by 13, 8.5 to go in this first half. Here's Smith. Pretty fake and hits. Charles Smith has come through with some very nice looking moves, and the Knicks lead by 15. Smith with 9 points. Dawkins rejected by Ewing.
That's team defense. Blackman couldn't contain Johnny Dawkins, so Ewing came over and shut him down. Dawkins can jump too, but he can't beat 2 Knicks.
32, Herb Williams checks in.
And now Patrick Ewing will get a rest. Herb Williams checks in.
How about the hand for Patrick Ewing on the visiting court of the Sixers here? Wow.
A host of Knicks fans on hand, though, here at the Spectrum. Ewing with an outstanding first half. 6 of 8, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Shot clock is down to 1. Here's Bradley, who just came back in, throwing up an air ball, and it's a 24-second violation. So now it is the assignment of Herb Williams facing the 7'6" rookie Sean Bradley. And Pat Riley has Hopper and Blackman at the guards. Williams, Smith, and Mason up front. Blackman wide open. Knicks getting a number of open shots. Woolridge had the baseline closed and was blocked by Smith. Foul is called on Charles Smith.
His first team second.
Warren Kidd coming on now for the first time, replacing Orlando Woolridge. Warren Kidd in the game against Charlotte on Monday in 23 minutes came up with 15 rebounds. Warren Kidd, a surprise rookie from Middle Tennessee State. Not too many people thought he'd make the ball club. Nice backdoor pass. Bradley hitting Graham. The Knicks now lead 47-34.
Yes, Kidd, an undrafted player and leading the country in rebounding last year. You think he might have been drafted, but that didn't stop him.
Herb Williams able to tightrope along that baseline. Hopper shooting. Eric Hopper continues to have his problems with the outside shot. And Dawkins able to penetrate. Knicks lead 47-36. And Pat Riley wants a timeout. 6:46 remaining in this first half. We'll be back in snowy Philadelphia in a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sixers are behind by 10.
I don't get it. Some guy bets
racing team. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer.
Charles Smith working down low a few minutes ago against Orlando Woolridge. Beautiful move off the backboard. At the other end, though, the Knicks are a little sleepy coming back. Johnny Dawkins going around Harper. Nobody coming in to help. Nobody keeping their eye on the man with the ball after Harper let him go by.
Knicks at 64% shooting on 21 of 33. Philadelphia 16 for 29, which is 55%. Here's Blackman for 3. And the sensational Knicks shooting continues. They now lead the Sixers 50-36. Miscommunication between Dawkins and Graham.
Graham headed toward the basket, and Dawkins didn't see him move his body in that direction.
7th turnover committed by the Sixers. While the Knicks, as coaches like to say, have certainly shown respect for the basketball. Only 1 turnover.
Well, the turnovers the Knicks had in Miami the other night, totaling 20, gave up 28 points. Made it a little easier for Miami. A very important statistic, those turnovers.
Harper penetrates. Second time he's been able to do that. And the Knicks now lead by 16.
Best thing you can do when you're not hitting your jump shot is to get that ball inside, as Harper just did. Make it a little easier on yourself if you're able to do that.
Herb Williams called on the foul. It's the biggest lead of the night for the Knicks. 16-point margin.
Derick Harper last time down court around everybody. Even Sean Bradley couldn't stay with him, and he got a late start. He was much closer to the basket. Harper came a long way.
John, we know that as always, former Knicks coach and Hall of Famer Red Holzman is tuned into the telecast, and you know, John, he takes notes when you speak, so he is listening very carefully. But we're happy to report that Selma Holzman is out of the hospital, back home, advising Red on his tennis game. So our very best to Selma, and hope to see her at Madison Square Garden in short time. Charles Smith rejected, and back comes Dawkins. Pulls up for the jumper. Loose ball foul is called on Warren Kidd. A push by Warren.
Sean Bradley's 5th in the NBA in shot blocks, and when Charles Smith beat his man initially on that last move, he had to face Bradley, who sent that shot away. You just got to respect the 7'6" Bradley, though, when you're around the basket with him.
Harper trying to lose Graham on the screen. Instead got it to Williams. Rejected by Bradley. Nice save by Graham. Knicks have a 16-point lead. 5 minutes to go, first half. Offensive foul, and Warren Kidd is having problems. Well, Kidd with a loose ball foul, and just a moment ago, and then trying to put a move on Mason is called for the offensive foul.
Warren Kidd, a strong guy to send Mason down as he does on this move. I don't know, that looked pretty legit, although maybe Mason's picking up some of Charles Oakley's ways during those offensive fouls.
Warren Kidd started the first 14 games this season. Kidd sitting down now. Smith off the fake. Rebound batted away from Bradley. Handled by Weatherspoon. Here's Dawkins leaving it for Graham. Graham trying to slice his way through the foul. It's called on Blackman. Now Jeff Hornacek back in. The Knicks did not have a delightful time making their way from Miami to Philadelphia. Apparently, overnight, while their charter jet was at the Miami airport, a truck ran into the plane and knocked off a piece of the wing, so they had to wait, along with the weather problems, which slowed us up also, John, but we bounced right back.
Well, we fortunately had the help of a couple of very able people. Rupa Shah from Carlson Travel Network and Kathy Burt from the Madison Square Garden Network worked overtime in getting us here to Philadelphia and getting the Rangers up to Montreal on a horrendous trip that they and the broadcasters for the Rangers had as well.
It's a 3 by Barrow. Dana Barrow's able to hit. Well, the Rangers bust their way to Montreal. Knicks now with a 52-39 lead. I must say, I've tried to help your travel plans on a number of occasions. Blackman not able to hit. Rebound Bradley. I often confer with Kathy Burke, who handles the travel plans at Madison Square Garden, advising on preferences. Weatherspoon makes him a nice move and misses on the reverse, and he draws the foul. I've mentioned to Kathy that you actually prefer very small rooms on floors that have a lot of smoke. You like those smoking rooms, and you prefer no foam.
That's right, Marvin.
So I try to help.
And the consistency of traveling by bus. It's very nice of you to point those things out to Kathy. Fortunately, I have her line too, and I can erase some of those wonderful, thoughtful suggestions you had.
3:44 remaining in the second quarter. The Knicks lead is now 12. Patrick Ewing is back. It's Ewing up front with Oakley and Smith. Anthony and Starks. Now the backcourt. Some light pressure shown by the Sixers. Handled by the Knicks. Starks for 3. The play by Smith. Getting to the rebound. Oakley called for a travel. So the Sixers get it back. Philadelphia 76ers with a record of 20-26. They have won their last 2. They're trying to match their longest win streak of the season. Oddly enough, it occurred 2 weeks ago with all 3 straight on the road.
And this is a team also that's beginning to think about making the playoffs for the first time this year. The team, when the season began, had the intentions of just trying to look respectable out there. Now they're getting much bigger thoughts.
Good play by Bradley preventing the entry pass, and then he deflected it out of bounds. As Fred Carter very happy to point to that 4-11 start, and as we mentioned earlier, since then they've gone to 16 and 15. Oakley had it poked away. Some good defensive play by the Sixers. Hornacek for Weatherspoon, but he could not handle the pass. It's a franchise that has gone from a perennial playoff participant to a fixture in the lottery, but as you mentioned, they do have different thoughts this season. Timeout called, just under 3 minutes remaining in the half.
Duquesne heads for St. Bonaventure to battle the Bonnies in an Atlantic 10 showdown Saturday at noon, live here on MSG Network.
Shop. Nemo's. It's for everyone.
You've got to love it.
Nemo's got activewear.
Start, and Tuesday the Knicks return to the second half of the season at New Jersey.
The Knicks 52 and the 76ers 41. Smith from Starks. Nice lead thrown by John Starks, who continues to pile up the assists. 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining in the first half. Knicks now by 13.
Also that pass to Starks from Charles Oakley, a long full court pass right on target.
Double pump move by Weatherspoon. Oh, Anthony stepped out. Not a good pass. It was Oakley's fault. That's what he is telling Anthony, because the pass off the mark, and Greg tried to save it and was out of bounds.
Knicks lifting up their defense. It seems with the memory of the game the other night after the big first quarter in Miami, they're not letting down. They seem to have very great awareness of their man-to-man responsibilities now.
Yes, in Miami they had the 34-17 lead, and then the Heat able to turn it around and came back strong, in particular in the third quarter. Charles Smith called for the foul. The Knicks with only 33 points in the second half against Miami, their lowest scoring half of the season. Jeff Hornacek, one of the better foul shooters in the league. In his 8th year out of Iowa State, a college walk-on, and went on to have a nice career with the Phoenix Suns. Did his best work alongside Kevin Johnson in Phoenix. And comes off a season high 36 points, 13 of 20 from the field against Charlotte on Monday.
Well, you know, somebody in the Phoenix organization is still bragging today that he was the one that said, let's go for this guy Hornacek on the second round. What can we lose? Second round pick who became an NBA All-Star.
Knicks by 11. A minute and 44 remaining in this first half. Patrick Ewing had some words for Ronnie Nunn that prompts the reaction from the crowd. Starks. Rebound Oakley. 7 rebounds for Charles Oakley. Starks played on a switch by Weatherspoon. Mismatches Hornacek with Oakley. Starks.
Now you wonder why John couldn't have thrown a lead pass to Oakley inside, who makes up for it anyway with that rebounding and the position that led to the finish.
Knicks lead by 13. Oakley has 7 points. Knicks led by Ewing, who has 12. Hornacek lost it off his foot. Starks gathers it in and was pushed. Oh, and hits, but will not get the call on the continuation. What a shot by John Starks, stumbling his way and just flipping it underhand.
Well, John has shown remarkable abilities making shots with his back to the basket on the drive lately. Here's a remarkable shot with him facing the basket. Give it to him, Mr. Official.
Now, John, on the schoolyard, you'd get that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even the most fierce opponent would have to relent.
Yeah, you con your way into that one. So Starks will go to the line. John Starks, 10 points, all in the first quarter. Also has 5 assists. Starks, as you see, averaging 19 points and 6 assists.
Well, in the NBA top 20 in scoring and assists, Kenny Anderson, an all-star for the New Jersey Nets, Mark Price from Cleveland, and John Starks, double threats.
Now the Knicks were arguing their call, John. I would think they were wondering, as Hornacek tries to dish it off, why the shot did not count, because Philadelphia is not over the limit. And if he's shooting, he should have gotten credit for the field goal. Mason hits, but it's called a 2-shot foul. However, the referee interpretation is that after the foul was called, he got the shot off. I'm sure that was their explanation. Half-minute remaining in this first half. Hornacek, a forced shot handled by Ewing. And Ewing is able to feed down to Starks.
So Ewing never thinks about going all the way wisely. When he gets over half court, he's looking to give it up, as he should.
Knicks holding for a final shot of this first half. Anthony. Oh, what a move by Greg Anthony as he challenged Sean Bradley, who did get a piece of it. Final seconds of the half. Barros was slowed down by Starks. Perry rejected. And the Sixers want a goaltend. Fred Carter, very upset, does not get the call. He's in a discussion with the official, Hugh Evans.
Well, that's always a debatable call, whether it's a goaltend or not. And the Sixers now go to their locker room down by 18 points after a superlative first half by the Knicks.
7-0 run by the Knicks to end the half, and they end the half with their biggest lead of the night. We'll be back in a moment. Philadelphia, an excellent first half for the Knicks. They shoot just under 59%. And they lead the 76ers 61-43. Now to the MSG Sports Desk. Here's Bob Page.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening again, everybody. A very busy 24-hour period in the life of...
Well, done everything possible for the Rangers and getting those guys ready. Hey, Jacques Demers, Dan Marowelli, referee, came out. He ice. The fans booed him because of that Rangers' second goal. And
videotape from what happened last night at Denver, where the Nuggets dropped a 96-95 decision to Utah. You won't believe it. What happened is that Robert Pack and Rodney Rogers staged an absolutely amazing show. Here it is, waning seconds. It's Pack to Rogers for a three-pointer. Karl Malone nearly became a super GOAT. His inbounds pass is stolen by Pack over to Rogers for another three-pointer. And then as the crowd goes nuts, watch the incredible play Pack makes to steal Malone's inbounds pass again. And a great save to Rogers in the corner. He drills his third three-pointer in an 8.8 second span. Denver leads by one. Unbelievable. But here come the Jazz back. Clock winding down. Jeff Malone cans a jumper to put Utah ahead for good, as it turned out, 96-95. After a timeout for strategy, Denver still had one last chance. Rogers ran out of luck. His shot is blocked by Tyrone Corbin. Should have taken a three, huh? As a wild scramble ensues, the game ends, and Utah had its victory. Rogers had 23 points to lead the Nuggets to a still memorable loss. Karl Malone, you know, owes Jeff Malone dinner for that game-saving and certainly face-saving jump shot to win it. I'll have more.
The Knicks closing the first half in strong fashion, scoring the last 7 points. They take their biggest lead, a 61-43 margin. A look at the leading scorers summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Knicks getting balanced scoring, tremendous shooting in the first half, just under 59%, led by Patrick Ewing, 6 of 8 for 12 points, 11 apiece for Charles Smith and John Starks. Anthony Mason hit 4 out of 5 for 8, while the Sixers, led by Dana Barros, with 7, 6 apiece for Weatherspoon and Bradley. Weatherspoon only 1 of 6 from the field. In fact, his only field goal was a tip-in. Let's check out the highlights brought to you by Minolta, makers of the new Freedom 105EX, only from the mind of Minolta.
Well, for the Knicks, their big man got things going early in the game. Patrick Ewing had the basket in sight. Sean Bradley a split second too late, and Ewing had a good look at that hoop and came through. Charles Smith also an important performer, as was Greg Anthony, with a beautiful setup on that bounce pass. Charles was sailing there in a while before he got to that rim. John Starks also got things off to a good start, shaking those shooting blues of late. Starks was on 4 for 9 for him in the first half. Early in the game, though, Sean Bradley gave people an indication of what it's like when he can get a basketball on a fast break. He soared for that slam dunk.
The Knicks with the big lead as we head to the second half. We'll be back in Philadelphia in a moment.
It's the Knicks versus the Golden.
Welcome back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Marv Albert with John Andres. And the Knicks lead by 18. They're shooting just about 59%, 27 of 46 from the field. And the 76ers, 47% on 17 for 36. Knicks have also done it off the boards. Oakley with 7 rebounds.
Knicks handling the ball well, too, in the first half with only 4 turnovers, while causing the Sixers to have 9, and the Knicks turn those 9 turnovers into 9 points for themselves. And our Toyota matchup of this evening is Patrick Ewing and Sean Bradley. Ewing dominating in all areas and also being surrounded with a lot of balance. The Knicks are not having Ewing carry them against the Sixers as he did in their last meeting in New York, when Patrick was all by himself with his huge game against the Sixers, but it happened to turn out to be a loss for the Knicks.
Yes, Ewing 36 points, 21 rebounds 2 weeks ago in New York. Here's Perry around Smith, but Ewing over to make the block and then protect it against Bradley as this third quarter gets underway. Ewing lost sight of the pass. Barros and Hornacek in the backcourt. Bradley up front with Weatherspoon and Perry. Starks called for the foul.
Patrick Ewing sharp on this defensive play. Perry going in for that dunk around Charles Smith, but Patrick sent Perry away unhappily.
Weatherspoon played by Oakley.
Got a stagnant offense of the Sixers now, standing around watching Weatherspoon go his way and succeeding in drawing a foul.
Oakley is first. Weatherspoon has struggled to this point. As I mentioned, only 1 of 6, and that was a tip.
Now, if you're a coach of the Knicks, you're thinking right now, no way our team can continue to shoot 59%. We've got to do other things better. We've got to play tougher defense in the second half. You can't count on 59% field goal percentage for 2 halves in a row.
Sixers maintain possession. They have 13 on the 24. It's a revamped 76er ball club. Gone are Hersey Hawkins and Armin Gilliam and Manute Bol, Andrew Lang, Ron Anderson. Greg Grant was here last year. Eddie Lee Wilkins. Weatherspoon with the shot clock down to 1. So the Knicks now lead 61-45. Only 4 players from last season's roster are still with the 76ers. Team that went 26 and 56, 6th in the Atlantic Division, among the worst records in the league. Starks. John Starks got the step, but could not complete it. Hornacek.
Well, he rushed that shot, and there were 4 Knicks rebounders there. No Sixers in position.
Last year, only Washington, Sacramento, Minnesota, and Dallas had worse records than the Sixers. Oakley, yes, and it counts. He went to the left hand, and he was hacked. So Charles will go to the line.
John Starks again penetrating successfully. This time he doesn't force the shot up. Gets it to Charles, who picks his way through the defense. Finishing with a soft touch layup. And now a chance to make a 3-point play out of that move.
God, how about Dallas last night defeating Minnesota once again. So they're now 5-42. 4 of the wins have come against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And there was a statement by Jim Jackson of the Mavericks after the game last night, asked about the win over Minnesota. He said, we seem to match up well against the Timberwolves.
I thought you might say, he said, we own the Timberwolves.
Bradley with a sweeping hook. The Knicks lead 63-47.
Bradley shows signs of being a big-time player in the NBA one of these days, but the Sixers know it is a project situation, and they're prepared to show a lot of patience.
Bradley on the follow.
How about that play? Boy, back-to-back moves by Bradley that show he has special talent.
Knicks now lead by 14. Oakley's pass recovered. Perry got a piece of it. Ewing. Rebound Smith. Carl Smith has had a very impressive night. 13 points for Smith, and he's done a good job off the boards. Perry tried to put a move on Smith, who stopped him and then deflected it out.
Charles now 6 of 11 from the field. That was a beauty as well. Getting the ball midair and still being able to convert it off the backboard.
Set a notion to shoot 3 and then put the nice move on. Dana Barros And the Knicks now lead 65-51.
I mean, he just blew around Greg Anthony. What a move.
Oakley, foul. Charles Oakley celebrating his all-star selection. He's 4 of 4 from the field, 9 points, along with 8 rebounds. Foul was called on Bradley. That is his 3rd.
Meanwhile, that was such a big play by Anthony, penetrating, drawing the attention of the big people, which opened it up for a pass to Charles Oakley. Those are the kind of moves that Greg was not making the earlier part of the season, where he'd break a defense down as a point guard should do.
Charles Oakley, Monday night against Miami, 14 points, 10 rebounds, had the enormous game against the Magic on Sunday. 21 rebounds, 1 shy of his season high. Charles also picked up a flagrant foul in a testy game against the Miami Heat. Oakley with the rebound. Now Starks trying to whip by Hornacek. Good play by Hornacek. Oakley gets it back to Ewing. And Perry rebounds. Starks on the intercept. Anthony passing on the shot, getting it cross court to Smith. Rebounded by Weatherspoon. There was some concern on the Knicks about that Oakley flagrant. However, as it turns out, 2 of his earlier flagrant fouls have been erased. Oakley, Charles Oakley with 13 points, and he is now 5 of 5 from the line. The Knicks lead by 18. I should say 6 of 6 from the field for Charles Oakley. Here's Barros for 3. And Weatherspoon knocks it down.
Gives you an idea of what Weatherspoon can do given some room. He can dominate the air above the rim.
5 minutes gone by in the 3rd quarter. Knicks have maintained this sizable lead. Beautiful play by Oakley to tap it to Ewing. And Starks not able to hit. Oakley on the follow. Stopped by Bradley. And the foul called on Oakley. Timeout has been called. 6:47 remaining, 3rd quarter. It's the Knicks by 16.
This is it, and he bats it out, puts it right on Kovalev's stick. Kovalev's shot blocked by a defenseman in the goal, Schneider. Now watch this. What a play by Zubov to get it by the goaltender. And watch the Ranger bench on this goal. They'll have to be amazed at the goal and the stick movement of Zubov.
Rangers into it. Montreal has called the timeout. Jacques Demers animated behind the bench. As you look at the goal scorer, Sergei Zubov with his 8th of the season, only his 2nd in the last 20 games. But a power play goal, the Rangers.
47 in the 3rd, and the Knicks enjoying a 16-point lead. Let's take a look now at our Coca-Cola Classic Play. And it was a sweeping, beautiful return of the sky hook by Sean Bradley that reminds us of a classic basketball shot. And then for dessert, we'll take a look at a follow, which followed that classic hook shot. The athleticism of Sean Bradley at 7'6", very clear with those 2 moves.
For dessert. A traveling violation is called. Getting back to the Charles Oakley flagrant foul situation, for the 2nd time this season, the NBA has erased a flagrant called against Charles. So he has at the most 3 flagrant foul points after he was assessed in Miami the other night. Patrick Ewing connecting. The 2 rescinded by Rob Thorne, NBA Vice President of Operations. Took another look and reviewed the calls, and they made the change. Foul wiped off Oakley's slate.
That's an illegal defense called against the Knicks.
Illegal defense called. So they wiped away the January 19th call when Oakley hit Vinny Del Negro of San Antonio with an elbow. And the other was the flagrant foul called December mid-December against Haywood Workman of Indiana. Second illegal defense against the Knicks. So Jeff Hornacek will shoot the technical.
Sixers' top 5 scorers feature one good foul shooter, and it is this man, Jeff Hornacek, at 86%. 3 of the 5 top scorers are shooting their foul shots in the 60s, which is far below par for an NBA team.
Hornacek and Barros at the guards. Bradley, Perry, and Weatherspoon on the front line. 6 minutes remaining, third quarter. Weatherspoon for Bradley. Bradley able to save it. Fires it up. And is fouled. And shaken up. But all right.
Sean Bradley getting that pass. Trouble is, Marvin, wasn't high enough for Sean Bradley. Came down a little too low, but he responded well. He's competitive. You can see that fire in him, the way he responded. And the athleticism that we speak of with Sean Bradley is a result of years in playing other sports than basketball. That's what has made him very attractive when you projected him into the long term as a professional basketball player. He can do a lot of things with his body.
Yes, he's an all-around athlete, a golfer, water skier, played high school baseball. Foul was called on Ewing. For Ewing, his second.
And the leaderboard in shot blocks in the NBA has Sean Bradley these days at number 5. Patrick Ewing not too far behind at 8th best in the NBA in that department.
The Knicks 71, 76ers 55. Tim Perry pressing on Greg Anthony, who gets it ahead to Charles Oakley.
Starks again with no deception on the pass. Makes it easy for the defense to just stick the hand up and deflect it.
Ewing over on a double team, then get back to Bradley as Hornacek goes short. And Weatherspoon able to race it down. Here's Barros for 3. Well, the Sixers now looking for the downtown shot. So successful with it against Charlotte the other night. They're firing away. They attempted 30 on Monday night against Charlotte. One short of the NBA record. Barros with a wild attempt. Rebound Weatherspoon blocked by Smith. Bradley gets to it, and he's fouled.
Personal foul, Patrick Ewing.
Ewing called for his 3rd.
Well, that was Charles Smith on that block of Weatherspoon, and the ball is loose, comes up into the hands of Bradley, who now finds himself at the foul line. Well, you know, Marv, it was a little more than 2 weeks ago with 7 of 8 games at home before the All-Star break that Freddie Carter, the Sixers coach, risked a projection. He said if his team could win 5 in that stretch of 8 games, it would be in a position for a second-half run at the playoffs. Tonight is win number 5 that they're looking for. So Freddie Carter's proud. As he said, in all sincerity, we've been a team of resiliency and a team of bounce and a team that always comes back. Well, they haven't been able to do so thus far in this game as the Knicks have kept up their fine play.
Stark setting up Ewing. The Knicks lead 73-57. Ewing has 16. He's 8 of 12 from the field. 13 apiece for Oakley and Smith. Perry. Tim Perry attempting the 3-point shot. Nice save by Oakley. Lands in the crowd. Charles has hit his landing in the crowd quota for the evening.
Make that 17.
Knicks swinging the ball well, opening it up for Starks, and hits from downtown. The Knicks lead 76-57. 14 points for Starks. And he's 3 of 6 from 3-point range. Bradley rolling to the hoop. Knicks try to draw the foul as Oakley looked to pick up the charge on Bradley. Anthony's pass knocked away by Barros.
Knicks still shooting well for the game. They're at 54% after that 59% first half.
Timeout is called by the Knicks. 3:38 remaining in the third. The Knicks enjoying their biggest lead of the night, a margin of 19. 3.5 remaining third quarter. Mason trying to roll inside on Perry and is fouled. Perry extending his leg. Called for the foul.
Sixers 13 foul.
13 foul committed by Philadelphia. Well, the Knicks have done it with the three-point shot, 5 out of 9. Sixers 1 of 8 coming off the 11 of 30 against the Hornets on Monday night.
John Starks 3 of 6 of that Knicks total.
Weatherspoon. Well, the Sixers effectively pushed it down. Weatherspoon showing some signs, now has 12 points. Mason gets inside and he's fouled. Called on Weatherspoon. Good pass from Anthony. And Derek Harper will come on for Greg Anthony.
Mason unguarded inside, drawing that foul. Well, a nice announcement for the fans of pro basketball and college basketball. Today, Chuck Daly has been elected into the Basketball Hall of Fame after his many years in the sport. 4 Ivy League titles at Penn, and then in the NBA where he led the Pistons to 2 championships, and then of course the coach of the Dream Team in '92. Denny Crum, 22 years in Louisville. Montclair State's Carol Blazejowski, the most prolific scorer in the history of women's basketball. And also an employee, by the way, of the NBA and the Consumer Products Group of NBA properties. Congratulations to all of those people, as well as Buddy Jeanette, who we have to go back to the 30s and 40s to appreciate Buddy Jeanette's accomplishments as a player.
Weatherspoon again to cut it to a 77-61 Knick lead. And here is Ewing, changed his mind, and Oakley angling for possession, called for a 3-second violation. So Carol Blazejowski, the Blaze, I'm told, got the news while in her car, got it on the car phone, and nearly drove off the road. And Denny Crum, very emotional in learning of the news from the Basketball Hall of Fame. In fact, Denny said he was low-keying it right throughout. Anthony Bonner making his first appearance of the game, able to rebound. But it was an emotional news conference in Louisville. And the announcement was made that Denny Crum had made the Basketball Hall of Fame. And congratulations to Chuck Daly, who's had an illustrious career in many phases of the game. Anthony Mason has been outstanding. Mason out 5 out of 6, 11 points, and the Knicks lead by 18. There's been no let-up. The Knicks have maintained the big lead right throughout. Moses Malone is back. He's come on for Sean Bradley. Good play by Mason, forcing Weatherspoon deep to the baseline. And a loose ball foul is called on Malone.
Well, Moses doing a little pushing under his offensive boards for the 1,837,000th time of his Hall of Fame career. You know, that's where he'll be one day. Oh, Mason with a gorgeous move. Again with the right hand down low. Boy, is he in a groove tonight. Well, on the subject of Carol Blazejowski, I mean, it's worth mentioning, certainly, she holds the women's collegiate career scoring record, averaging over 31 a game, and a single season record of 38.5 points a game. The only college player to score more points was the Pistol, Pete Maravich. Just a great career for Carol Blazejowski.
Patrick Ewing making his first appearances at the free throw line, and the Knicks now lead by 20.
Carol also holds the.
Are you her agent? The Blaze is one of the all-time, but I haven't John enough.
That's a Garden thing, Mark. No college player, man or woman, has scored more points in a game at the Garden than her 52 against Queens College.
You know, I know
that's it.
That there's an ulterior. Oh, Carol controlling a lot of NBA product in her office. John will be dropping by, pick off some T-shirts.
Well, that happens to be true, but I'll be gracious about it.
Bonner missed the layup. We're coming up on 1 minute remaining in the third. Here's Hornacek. That's a three for Jeff Hornacek. The Knicks 81 and the 76ers 64. Hopper gets the pick. Hopper lost control. And Dawkins off the steal. Dawkins one-on-one with Bonner and then decides to regroup. Good play by Bonner. Oh, Bonner with the steal and able to direct it to Ewing.
So tough to do what he just did, reaching over and getting that ball.
Starks curling off the pick. Rebounded by Weatherspoon. Down to 25 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Weatherspoon with 15 rebounds. The Knicks lead by 17. Dawkins running the clock down. Shot clock at 2 and 1. Too late. 24-second violation. It'll be Knick ball. 4 and 4/10 seconds remaining, third quarter. Mason whipping by Hornacek. Ewing for three. Well, Patrick Ewing gunning for his second three-pointer. He's 1 for 1 from downtown this season.
Driver, do you have any Bud Light in your vehicle?
Yes. On to the fourth quarter. Marv Albert, John Andres from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, where it has been snowing and raining the past 24 hours, similar to the scenario in the New York City area. Nice pass. Mason sets up Ewing. Ewing thought he was fouled. The Knicks have a 17-point lead. They've led by as many as 20. Knicks shooting 52% for the game. Off the turnover to 3-on-1, and Bonner goes all the way. Yes, it counts. The foul called on Eric Lechner.
His first, team first in the quarter.
Pat Riley has to love the energy in the Knicks break here, and the finish, of course, by Bonner, who is an excellent finisher around the basket on the break.
So Bonner to the line, where he has not shown the best phase of his game, only a 42% free throw shooter. Rebounded by Warren Kidd, who checks back in. Rolando Blackman has come on for John Starks. Starks with 14 points. Ewing, the high man, with 18. This is Greg Graham. And an offensive foul is called. It's on Kidd. Warren Kidd picking up the fouls in a hurry. That's his third, and in limited playing time. Played only 3 minutes. They double up on Hopper. Hopper and Blackman at the guards. Williams, Mason, Bonner up front. Herb Williams comes on for Patrick Ewing, and that has to feel good for Derick Hopper, who has not been able to hit from the outside. A couple of nifty drives converted by Hopper earlier. Derick now 6 points, and the Knicks lead 85-64. This represents their biggest lead. Kidd, it counts, and the foul. Good luck from Woolridge. Kidd was open. Williams called for the personal.
Williams is second, team first.
Well, at 6'9" tall, Kidd with a good presence underneath the basket sends that baby home. Freddie Carter going with all bench now in this Knicks whomping of the Sixers. Another look at that move by Kidd.
Kidd is a poor free throw shooter, not able to complete the three-point play. Hopper for Mason. Mason being played by Kidd. Blackman putting the move on Graham and lost it. Last touched by the Sixers. It's Woolridge, Kidd, and Lechner up front. Backcourt of Dawkins and Graham. Greg Graham, rookie from Indiana. Herb Williams, yes. And the Knicks with an 87-66 lead on the 76ers. It's almost a perfect game being played by the Knicks. Off the steal, here's Bonner, stopped by Woolridge. Bonner dives for it and is fouled by Lechner.
Looked to me like the officials missed a push by Woolridge on Bonner in that break. But Bonner stays with it. We'll take another look at this now. Bonner with the steal. He's coming up court now. Let's see if there's a push at the end. That left hand might have gotten him, but what a response by Bonner to that loose basketball. Wow.
Here is Williams. And Herb Williams gets the roll. And the Knicks now lead by 23. So a good bounce back effort from the loss in Miami the other night. I know the Knicks wanted to return the favor on the 76ers. Kidd will go to the line again. 76ers beating the Knicks at Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago. Here's Sean Bradley back, replacing Eric Lechner.
Warren Kidd shooting 2.
Warren Kidd has not had a good time at the free throw line. He's 17 of 35 for the season.
All-time leading rebounder at Middle Tennessee State. Warren Kidd, we mentioned earlier, led the nation in rebounding last year as a senior with 14.8 rebounds a game, while also averaging 15 points a game. An All-Ohio Valley Conference first-team player for 3 straight years.
And he had 15 rebounds in only 23 minutes the other night against the Hornets. An injury-battered Hornet club that had lost 7 in a row. Hunter behind the back for Williams. And here's Herb Williams on the follow. Well, Herb Williams off the bench. And has done the job. Last 6 points for the Knicks scored by Herb.
I would call it a quietly sensational couple of minutes for Herb.
Reach-in foul charged to Derick Harper.
His first, team third. Dana Barros checks back in.
Now Dana Barros, Clarence Weatherspoon, and Jeff Hornacek checking back in.
Johnny Dawkins.
Herb Williams hit the first 2 jump shots that he took right away. He misses the third, but he's right in position for the follow, and he certainly followed it.
Herb Williams now guarding Sean Bradley. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Another Knicks steal. Bonner putting moves on Weatherspoon. Gets it off to Blackman. Backs up for the 3. Herb Williams. The Knicks 91. Philadelphia 67. Got a piece of it. Weatherspoon off the recovery.
Bonner's playing as though he's trying to make the team. His defense is just tremendous. What effort he's putting into this game.
Well, his playing time has diminished recently, with Anthony Mason back on the floor off a number of injuries, and certainly has picked up his play as of late. Hornacek saving it. Back come the Knicks. Harper, well, Derick Harper with 8 points. He's hit 2 from outside. He had come into tonight shooting 3 of his last 18 over his last 3 games. So he's trying to find that outside touch. And he has certainly been noted for the 3-point shot over the years as a member of the Dallas Mavericks. Rolando Blackman is called for his 2nd foul.
Jeff Hornacek shooting 2.
Jeff Hornacek with his season high the other night had 20 points alone in the first quarter. And that was one off the record set by Julius Erving in 1979.
Bradley goes to the hook. comes Mason. Sixers get back on the transition. Mason with the pass off the dribble for Bonner. Bradley coughed it up. Mason. Mason challenged Bradley. Bonner gets to it again. And a 3-second violation called on Williams. 7:23 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks are headed to a record of 34-13. This will be 8 of the last 10. And on the road, a victory here tonight will make it 5 wins the last 7 games away from the Garden. Here's Woolridge. So the Knicks now lead 93-71. 5 points for Woolridge, who has been sitting it out recently because of a pulled groin muscle. And the call against the Knicks. Offensive foul on Bonner. He was wrestling for position with Bradley. Called for the push. Timeout taken by the 76ers. We'll be back in a moment.
Send your name and address to Knicks Kids Fan Club, P.O. Box 418, Norwood, New Jersey, 07648.
Knicks at 51% for the game. The Sixers, who started hot, at 41%. Foul called. Weatherspoon off the fake. Took the hit. John, Philadelphia opened up in the first quarter 12 of 19. That was 67%. Since then, they've hit only 16 of 49, 33%, while the Knicks have been steady right throughout. Weatherspoon, after the slow start, 17 points along with 18 rebounds.
Well, you know, after that disappointing last 3 quarters of the game in Miami the other night, you know, the Knicks were troubled by that performance. They expected that Miami game to be a win after the big one against Orlando the day before, but physically it just couldn't happen, and they have come back tonight with such a strong, focused effort.
Derick Harper with his 3rd outside jump shot. He's 5 of 6 overall. He has 10 points, and the Knicks lead 95-73. They've led by as many as 23 as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Barrows. And the tip by Weatherspoon. Knicks lead by 20. A little overreaction here by the public address announcer with the home team down by 20 points. We are approaching garbage time. Have not quite hit it yet, John, but reaching out. Patrick Ewing getting a long rest. Another solid performance by Ewing. 18 points for Ewing, 11 rebounds.
Marv, you have coined garbage time, and I'm curious. I think in the opinion of many, this would be garbage.
You think so?
Well,
I don't feel it yet.
What your definition might be.
No, I think you got to wait another minute or so.
20-point lead, 5.5 to go.
No, it's not. There's Bradley.
I know you've been around.
It's all field, John.
There's no way a long time. I respect that.
Yes. John, I saw you play at Fordham.
Right.
So please.
Right.
As a youngster. Here's Blackman. And the Knicks now lead 97-77. John, you can't put anything tangible on it. It's all feel. I'll give you the indication in just a moment. Pick and roll for Bradley. Not what he had in mind. And back come the Knicks, led by Harper. Mason. Now, John, it is extensive garbage time. We're just under 5 minutes. Knicks lead by 22.
That pass that Harper threw is the kind of pass you don't see very often. It was really beautiful.
And I would think shortly, not quite, because Pat Riley likes to make certain in his mind that it has reached that point. I think shortly we'll see Eric Anderson and Corey Gaines check in. Mason called for the foul.
Mason just clobbered Sean Bradley. Bradley goes in for that after getting that pass, and Mason gets to the position, and boy, did Bradley get rocked.
And they have called a flagrant foul on Anthony Mason. It was not malicious. In fact, you could see Bradley handle it well, and there's a rare apology from Anthony Mason. Try to help Bradley out. Some compassion being shown here.
I must say that Bradley shows a terrific competitive temperament without being a wimp. You know, he really knows his road is long ahead of him, but you see Mason just clobber him. That's a situation where it looks to the official that Mason did not play the basketball. He went for the body as a football player would.
Mason showing some anger, but that at the official. Off the steal, here's Blackman. Blackman trying to put a move on Hornacek. Williams. And Bradley comes up with it and puts the ball on the floor from his lead. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. The Knicks lead by 22. Barros for three. Air ball. He's claiming he was fouled. But Hugh Evans says no. Johnny Dawkins and Greg Graham trying to check in. They are over at the scorer's table. Dana Barros hit his first 4 shots tonight. Since then, he's missed his last 7. And now the crowd here at the Spectrum responds. I should say the mid portion of the crowd as Corey Gaines and Eric Anderson make their way onto the court. Well, Pat Riley now feels it is official.
You and Pat Riley are on a wavelength, Bob. You
close. We have that same kind of feel.
Predicted this.
So Eric Anderson will appear in his 5th game of the season. For Corey Gaines, it is his 7th appearance as a Knick. Blackman with the pick and roll for Herb Williams. Anderson on the rebound. Anderson with a jump hook. Rebound Bonner. Anthony Bonner on the follow. It's the Knicks 101 and the 76ers 77. Biggest lead of the night. It has been a solid performance by the Knicks. Opening tip on. No let up. Hot shooting right throughout. Excellent all-around play. Gaines off the steal. Gaines all the way. And the foul. Corey Gaines with the steal and the fast break bucket. He'll go to the line.
Well, that had to obviously impress Corey Gaines. His teammates know. Look at this play now. Right off the bench. He's cold. He's been sitting there. What a beautiful finish by Corey Gaines.
Corey Gaines shooting 1.
Now Corey Gaines for the season 4 for 4 from the foul line. Eric Lechner is back replacing Sean Bradley. Bradley 15 points, 11 rebounds. Gaines completes the 3-point play. The Knicks 104 and the 76ers 77. 3 minutes remaining in the game. Dawkins played on a switch momentarily. Lechner. And back comes Gaines. Blackman given the 3, takes it. Philadelphia 76ers had won their last 2, trying to match their longest win streak of the season. Graham's shot blocked. 3-on-1 for the Knicks. Bonner for Blackman. Back to Bonner. And he's able to hit on the reverse. The Knicks 106 and the 76ers 77.
A lot of Knicks fans are sticking around. The Sixer fans have gone home, but the Knicks fans are here enjoying what they're seeing.
2 minutes remaining.
Dawkins trying to give it up. Blackman with the intercept. And Gaines fires it down to Anderson, and he stuffs Eric Anderson. able to get on the score sheet off that nice lead from Corey Gaines. And the Knicks now lead 108 to 77. For Eric Anderson, only his second field goal of the season. He has 6 points for the season. Kidd on the drive, and he was fouled by... No, they say offensive foul on Kidd. Timeout is taken, 1:38 remaining in this fourth quarter.
There's the play right in front of the linesman, Gerard Gauthier, and I think that Messier was yelling at Gauthier.
Gauthier could make a throw like that.
Now Marawali wants the play to resume. Messier set to take the face-off. There's a whistle as Griswold went down, and Kovalov's going to get a penalty.
Key Theater. Don't miss this classic baseball song and dance show starring Tony and Emmy Award winner Bebe Neuwirth of Cheers and Broadway veteran Victor Garber. Previews begin February 14th, opening night March 3rd. Tickets on sale now at all Ticketmaster outlets. Inside play, Corey Gaines. And the roof would fly off Madison Square Garden if this was a home game, as Eric Anderson got his second field goal and first slam dunk of the season.
All right, 1.5 minutes remaining in the game. The Knicks 108, 76ers 77. Blackman line drives it. 7 points for Blackman. The bench receiving extensive playing time tonight. Derek Harper finding the outside touch. 10 points for Harper, who's hit 3 jump shots, also 7 assists for Derek. That's Sean Green. Anderson gives it back to Williams. Nice setup. Bonner converts. And the Knicks passing has been exceptional. And we're talking about both the starters and the bench. Lechner got bottled up. Last touch by the Knicks. The Knicks with 17 consecutive points. A 17-0 run concluding matters for this 112-77 lead. Here's Green. Sean Green out of Iona. Bonner lost it. Dawkins with the ball fake. Lechner lost it to Anderson. Took it out of his hands. We're down to 30 seconds remaining. 17 unanswered by the Knicks. Anderson inside is fouled. So Eric Anderson will go to the line, and a good portion of this crowd, those remaining, as you mentioned, John, for the most part, the Knick representation, enjoying the exploits of Eric Anderson and this Knick wipeout of the 76ers. Anderson at the line this season now 2 for 7.
Well, it's amazing. The balance of the team has been outstanding tonight. One of those rare situations where Pat Riley can say, fellas, you all played well.
Well, Eric Anderson 2 for 8 from the line. Knicks leading by 35 points. Sean Green stops the Knicks streak. 17 straight points. Sixers that cut that Knicks lead down to 18 at 95-77. And that led to the 17 straight. Anthony Bonner continues to fire away. He has 10 points. Final seconds. And it will be a very happy journey back to the New York area for the Knicks, who turn it from the loss in Miami and defeat the 76ers 114 to 79. Incidentally, the most consecutive points by the Knicks was 22 straight against the Philadelphia 76ers at the start of the fourth quarter in a game played back in March of 74. The most notable Knick run was that game against the Bucks at Madison Square Garden in the 72-73 championship season. Knicks scored 19 straight to defeat the Milwaukee Bucks. This game certainly not in that class. It was a wipeout either way, but the Knicks do close with a 17-0 run before the Sixers were able to get on the board. The response from the Knick All-Stars, Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing and John Starks. Meanwhile, on the Philly end, Moses Malone entertaining himself. A little juggling act. Jeff Hornacek not impressed. Moses biding his time. As we check out the leading scorer summary brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Patrick Ewing with 18 points, along with 11 rebounds, 8 of 14 from the field for Ewing. John Starks, 14 points, along with 8 assists. Balanced scoring by the Knicks. 13 apiece for Charles Smith, Anthony Mason, and Charles Oakley. Oakley also had 13 rebounds. Starks with 8 assists. Harper had 7. And the 76ers led by Clarence Weatherspoon, who had 20 points, along with 20 rebounds. 15 for Sean Bradley, 9 apiece for Hornacek and Barros. So the Knicks went it going away, 114 to 79. And when we come back, John will be talking with one of the outstanding performers off the bench tonight for the New York Knicks, Anthony Bonner. The victory tonight go to 34-13. They've won 8 of their last 10, and the 76ers dropped to 20-26, and the Knicks are 14-8 on the road. The Knicks doing it end to end. The bench receiving much playing time in the fourth quarter. Anthony Bonner took advantage. 10 points for Bonner, all in the fourth. Had 3 steals as the Knicks defeat the 76ers 114-79. And Anthony Bonner all set to chat with John.
Thank you, Marv. Anthony Bonner came out here with a heavy sweat. Now he's cooled off a bit, and perhaps reflecting on the game, Anthony. The question is to you, after that big fourth quarter you had that Marv just talked about, 10 points, 3 steals. How do you come off the bench with such tremendous energy when the outcome of the game is clearly in the Knicks' direction?
Well, I think the one thing that really motivates me and keep me going is, first of all, to have the opportunity to get more minutes. Anytime you get on the court, you have to produce, and that's the one statistic that keeps you out on the court, and I just try and play hard each and every opportunity I get.
The defensive part of the game is something you seem to focus on greatly. How does a man your size come up with 3 steals in the short period of time that you did?
Well, you know, I think one thing that I've been very blessed with is my quickness and my ability to rebound the basketball, and those are my strengths, and those are the assets I bring to this team. You know, obviously I'm not one of the go-to guys on this court offensively, so when I get out on the court I have to make use of my abilities, and those are the 2 things I try and focus on.
Anthony, looking back at the game in Miami the other night, was the team very disappointed in that performance?
Yeah, I think so. It was a bit of a letdown. You know, we had played a great game all the way up to halftime, and then to come out in the second half and be as flat as we were. We didn't make very many shots, but at the same time, we didn't really stop Miami, and that was probably the most disappointing thing, was that they really dominated us on the offensive end.
The team seemed to play with a lot of pride tonight. I guess one would assume that one day off helped the team get their energy back.
Oh, definitely. You know, we're a little fatigued right now, but we don't use that as an excuse. You know, being a professional basketball player, you expect these things, and it's our responsibility as pros to go out each and every night and give the same effort, and if we do that, then we can be satisfied with the result. But the last couple losses that we've experienced, we really haven't given the maximum effort defensively, and I think that's cost us.
What do you think, what was the focus of the Knicks tonight, looking at the Sixers, who have been playing good basketball of late?
Oh, I mean, they worried us, you know, because they've been playing very good basketball, like you said. They definitely sent a message out to us by walking into our home and beating us. So I wouldn't call it a revenge game, but we definitely wanted to come back and just try and take away the feelings that we experienced last time by giving away one at home. And tonight we came out, we played extremely hard, we played well, and we want to continue this streak going into the break and come back and regroup and keep it going.
Now, after tomorrow night's game against Golden State, you will enjoy a couple of days off. What does an NBA player do during the All-Star break when he doesn't have to be dribbling that basketball?
Well, since I'm not selected to the All-Star team, I'm going to enjoy my time off, but I'm also going to try and use that time to try and focus on some things that will help me improve my game and have a better second portion of the season, because it's a time that you can sit back and relax, and I'm going to talk to some people who are very close to me and just refocus and regroup, like I said, and hopefully come back even stronger.
Although you're not the main man for the Knicks that you just referred to, what's your emotional feeling about being part of the Knicks team these days?
Oh, it feels great, you know, to even have a little bitty role. It's just great to me. The last 3 years of my career have been spent in Sacramento, basically in isolation, and also it was a very frustrating 3 years, losing all the time. Right now we have more victories now almost in 2 seasons that I had combined in Sacramento. So it feels great to contribute to this cause, and hopefully if we continue to work hard, play hard, and do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be there in the end, hopefully.
What's your feeling about your teammate Charles Oakley being the 3rd Knicks member of the All-Star team?
I think it's great. You know, he's a guy who, if I had to pick a role model on this team, it would definitely be Charles Oakley, because I think our games are similar in a lot of regards. He's a guy who definitely keeps this team going night in and night out, and he brings the same effort every night. And if every player could do that in the NBA, regardless of what your statistical outcome was, you'd be satisfied with the way you played. And Charles Oakley is a tremendous opportunity for him, and I congratulate him, and he's definitely deserving of it.
Anthony, anybody that talks to Knicks fans these days or people associated with the team wants to know, do the Knicks have it to go all the way? As you look at the first half of the season and now looking at the second half upcoming, what would your response be to that proposition? Do the Knicks have it to go all the way?
Well, I guess it's a matter of opinion, you know. I mean, I think we've been very blessed so far to be where we are in this position. I mean, we've had a lot of key injuries early in the season. We've played up and down basketball, but we're still in the thick of things, so we're very excited about our position. Hopefully, if we can play the way we play tonight, tomorrow we'll be 35-13 at the break, which will be great, right there with the rest of the top teams in the league. And if we can avoid the injuries in the second half of the season, continue to play excellent basketball, I think we're going to be there in the end. It's just a matter of us continuing to bring the type of effort we brought tonight.
Well, the type of effort that the team brought tonight was really typified by Anthony Bonner, and we appreciate you coming out with that sweat, and we'll look forward to seeing you back at the Garden tomorrow. And thank you for visiting with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, Anthony Bonner, one of the key men in tonight's finish, certainly. And Marv, I'd like you to practice the word mush from now. Let's go back to Marv Albert.
Yes, I'm working on it. Anthony Bonner, one of the major contributors, off a bench that hit on 24 of 42 from the field, 58% shooting by the Knicks bench, accounting for 51 points. They outscore the Sixer bench 51-22 as the Knicks easily defeated the 76ers. Our guest received the American Express gift check. Think of it as a universal certificate that can be used to buy anything just about anywhere. Gift checks available where American Express travelers checks are sold. And guests also received Bulova timepieces. Bulova, make every minute count with timeless elegance and precision design. The Marine Star collection from Bulova. We'll be back at the Spectrum in a moment.
Working the boards as hard as he usually does tonight in his quiet way. Got the ball done, even with the big people around like Sean Bradley.
And Charles Oakley, 13 points and 12 rebounds. Our NatWest Bank's player of the game. Knicks getting balanced scoring, 18 for Ewing, 14 for Starks, 13 apiece for Oakley, Smith, and Mason. We'll be back in a moment.
Pure natural, proud to be your bud.
And the Bud dunk of the game. Oh, what a pleasure it is. Who was it at the end of that long pass but Eric Anderson? Bud dunk of the game from Eric Anderson. Oh, if this was at the Garden, Marv, the roof would have been off the Garden.
You know, you mentioned that before, John.
I thought it was worth mentioning again.
Eric Anderson with his second field goal of the season as the Knicks defeat the 76ers 114-79. Tomorrow night, the Knicks back home for their finale before the All-Star break as they face the Golden State Warriors. Chris Webber, Chris Mullin, and the rest of the Warriors will be in town. Knicks game night starting at 7 o'clock. Coming up next, John, a show I know you'll be watching eagerly. Set the VCR, the GGP Skiing Magazine. Thanks to our statistician Paul Evans. Marv Albert with John Andre saying so long from the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Anybody